Oh, a lot of struggles for Sri Lanka. They cannot penetrate through the South African defensive pressure. They've got some height there at the back with the inclusion and infusion of Straydom. Oh, beautiful rebounds from Smith.
And that ball might not have been the best option. Over a third diagonal ball, any defender's gift. But again, the patience from Sri Lanka. We can see Alvis just doing a lot of work for the Sri Lankans. But the South Africans will take the opportunity again.
The crowd is so loud down here, ladies. They are literally the 9th person or 8th person out there with them.
Oh, you must be enjoying the South African jubilation as Van der Merwe bags the 6th goal of the quarter. In the opening stages, South Africa looking very fierce with their defensive pressure. And the infusion of Straydom has certainly paid off, pressuring the ball earlier on to make sure that Sri Lanka gets a very tough one into that circle. They also did bring a couple of supporters.
Vantage contact, wing defense.
And Somi to Gissel. Oh, Talia just not able to get that mid-range. There's a long one. Oh, Straydom. It looks like we're about to see one of those games from her.
Straydom just annoying the attackers of the Sri Lanka side. She's a tough defender to play. She can play on the body, but somehow seem to always come up with the intercept. But for me, what's lovely to see is the interaction coming from Talyat and Van der Berg in that shooting circle. Both these players are specialist goal attack players, so it's great to see the movement that's coming from them, how they're just reading off each other, creating the spaces for each other, and just allowing Van der Berg to take the shot. But again, great intercept there from the Proteas.
Oh, the future of South African netball. Van der Berg bangs the 8th goal in with just under 10 minutes now in the first quarter. I mean, honestly, this really is the future of South African, the Spa Proteas. In Talia, who's also a youngster. That's a very happy sounding crowd out there. Maddie, next to you, you just said how loud it gets.
They are so impressed with what the Spark Proteas are putting out there already. That defensive pressure is relentless on the Sri Lankans, and the ball speed in transition all the way down the court, it is super impressive.
Wing defense, yes.
Oh, that's a good shot from Algama.
Contact, wing defense.
So much to play for in this match for South Africa. It is Norma Plummer's 100th yesterday, so she's finally made it into the hundreds. But a couple of players might be making their 100th and 50th cap for South Africa, respectively. And we'll certainly speak a bit more about that if they do come on. Algama keeping the hopes of the Sri Lanka side alive. Oh, the speed in which the ball is playing down that middle.
Yep, I think one thing that Sri Lanka is doing well is they're kind of pushing the Spa Proteas wide on the attack at times. And they just got to be aware of that. Sri Lanka might not have the defense to back it. And as a team, we should just stick to our systems, because that is the one thing that they want to focus on going into tomorrow's big game against Jamaica. But we can see the frustrations there from Algama on that goal shooter position. Not sure what she did.
Oh, there's some beautiful stories in those crowds. I can tell you that now.
Instruction centre.
Seeing a lot of young little teams that won championships being sponsored to come here. The beautiful opportunities that this Netball World Cup has offered youngsters. Bringing netball to the African shores for the very first time in 60 years.
Wing defense, penalty pass. Yes, wing defense, yes. Advantage moving wing.
Zed picking up, forcing a long range, a great little outside arm block there from Smith. Oh, straight on is certainly going to have one of those big games that we've seen her do in the TNL.
Yeah, we got to give credit to Van der Merwe in that situation. She was the one that closed the options. And it's lovely to see the interaction between Van der Merwe and Stradel, just covering each other defensively.
Wow, the ball speed in that attack hand from the Spa Proteas. The Sri Lankan defenders don't have any chance at all. Jaya Surya was actually quite pivotal yesterday, getting some hands and tips on balls, just not falling the Sri Lankans' way. She's having no impact on the game.
Well, South Africa will need to be aware of the run rate of the side of Jamaica yesterday against Sri Lanka. They made it to 100 goals. So they'd have to start running at 25 if they know they're going to be playing Jamaica tomorrow. Oh, that's a good side step from Algama to evade the arms of Smith and Van der Merwe. 15 goals in it for South Africa. 5 minutes to go.
Advantage contact, wing defense.
Long one from the captain. Oh, but Van der Berg does like to take those little mid-ranges. Samini Always is doing a lot of interplay to get the ball into that Sri Lanka side. They're struggling to get it in there. And they keep playing that little pop pass that's not working into the arms there of Smith. But whatever you can do, we can do too, says Sri Lanka. Oh, it's a beautiful offload from Kayanga Chani.
But again, great defensive work there from De Silva on that wing defense position. She read it and she took it, and I think that will be so encouraging to her side at the moment, because defensively they're just trying to slow down the Proteas, but they're having a tough time doing that. They're just every time getting caught being a step behind the South Africans.
No, Samini's having to do a lot for this team. Shadeen just hunting in the edge of the circle at the moment. Oh, it's a beautiful dodge. She's really having to work overtime for this one.
Wing defense, that's an intentional instruction, so it's a caution. The next one is a warning.
Sri Lankan defense just opting for the sandwich, trying to close off Van der Berg, and hoping that they can push Talyat out wide to take the shots. But one thing we do know about Talyat is that she's not afraid to shoot. She's sitting quite confidently on that 80%.
Goal third. Obstruction center, penalty pass.
Oh, umpire Terence Piet starting to tighten up on things at the back here.
Advantage contact, wing defense.
And it's a full speed drive down court between Khisal and Somi.
No, that's intent to delay. In here, out of play, wing defense. It's now a warning because you've already had a caution. Next one is a suspension. really well. Instruction, goal defence.
With 3 minutes left in this first quarter, South Africa certainly having a great run in the beginning stages. Apart from that beautiful save there, what an intercept from Amarawanza.
Yeah, the mid-court players of Sri Lanka just doing a good job. We did see De Silva getting that warning, but she's also been the player that have gotten the intercepts for Sri Lanka. So both her and Amarawanza putting the pressure in the mid-court. But the South Africans right now, they just seem to be enjoying this game.
Obstruction.
They love the fact that their country is in the lead and that they've now gone on to that 20-goal margin.
Obstruction, goalkeeper.
This will be a great test for the Proteas in staying focused, staying disciplined to their strategies for the whole 60 minutes. Even with a nice, comfortable lead, you've got to still stay true to the form to make sure that you can push ahead in these situations.
Definitely, Maddie. That is the true test today, is to see whether or not the Proteas can stick to their systems and just work on their game plan and using every opportunity they get. But the Sri Lanka side, for me, they're a side that have played with great patience today. They're not afraid to take it slowly and just keep the ball in hand. Play the safe option.
Oh, that's a bullet train into the shooting circle to Thunderbird. Just no hope at all and no one in sight for the side of Sri Lanka, as it forces a 3-second violation. Taliad never scared to take an attempt at goal.
Proteas just really strong in the middle right now, finding that top of the circle quite easily, allowing them to play that straight ball into the circle. There she goes again, Van der Merwe. We're so used to seeing her on that wing defence position for South Africa. But she did start her playing career on that goal defence position.
And the crowd is going all sorts of variations of loud in this arena, as South Africa has a great first quarter lead of 24-9. A Pool C matchup.
And there's been some changes from the Sri Lanka side. They've opted for a new wing defence player, Tisha Rachi. She will now replace De Silva, who we did see get that warning right at the end of the first quarter. Some exciting looking Sri Lanka fans waving their flag.
Goalkeeper.
Van der Berg just gets another opportunity. She's been quite strong today for the Proteas, sitting comfortably on that 89% goal average. That's one asset that Van der Berg has. She can play both goal attack and goal shooter. She's got great height, gives the Proteas good target at the back.
Advanced obstruction center.
Oh, that's a good finish from Taliad. She did get a little bit of a taste of yesterday's game. Coach Norma Plummer starting with her today. She made her debut in the quad series earlier on in the year when South Africa hosted Australia, New Zealand, England. And all that was in preparation of this moment right now, as all these teams really battle it out and put up their hand to be the next world champion. Oh, that's a great baseline drive there from Talia again. I'm liking this movement of the two shooters in that circle.
One thing that Talia does give the team is that movement. She's short, but she's fast, she's creative, she's not afraid to take the shots. And again, lovely defensive work coming from the Proteas. Just really keeping it tight on the body. And there we see it again from Straydom. She's been good. She just sits on the back of the player. And as that pass comes in, she will come around to take it. And we know that she did get that contract to go and play for the Steel next year in New Zealand. And she's shown us why she's capable of doing that.
Ladies, I'm down here on the sideline with the coach of Sri Lanka, Tilaka Jinadasa. Tilaka, you've scored way more in this first half than you were yesterday. You must be impressed with the improvement in that attack, and it feels like there's a lot more space and a lot more options to utilise.
Yeah, I just advise the girls to work closely, because not to just go for long passes, just to drive towards the passes. So that's what was our plan today for offensively.
The ball is moving pretty fast down that court from the Spa Proteas. Have you got any defensive strategies to try and slow them up a bit?
Yeah, just to stay on one-on-one and just to have the anticipation. Just not to stay in the body, just to be away from the body and anticipate when the balls come. That was our strategy for defensively.
And you can see the improvement from yesterday's game to today. What's impressed you the most so far about the girls?
Yeah, definitely how the attacking side is working. So they are more patient than yesterday. So they are waiting for their movements rather than just passing the ball into the court. So I'm impressed with that today.
Thank you for joining us, and good luck with the remainder of the game.
Thank you.
And the coach of Sri Lanka just again saying that she's proud of the patience from her team, and I have to agree with her. even though they're up against a very strong defensive unit, they do show the patience when it matters most.
Contact shooter.
Sri Lanka, who took on Jamaica yesterday and averaged 6 goals per quarter, certainly doing a much better job in the opening stages of this match with regards to that.
Transition from the Sri Lankan team is much better today. They're actually using a bit of width, a bit of depth, and starting to dominate that middle channel a little bit more, which is making it easier for them to get it into that attack end.
Oh, the go-to girl still doing her thing for the side of Sri Lanka is Alwas. Oh, that's a bit unfortunate. They'll need to stay focused. The South Africans, they have a very tough task ahead of them in this Netball World Cup. Sri Lanka forced to play the ball back.
Contact, wing defense! Wing defense, contact!
So just over 8 minutes to go. Oh, that's the kind of effort we expect from Van der Merwe.
Just a little bit messy for the South Africans at the moment. Taljaard just chucking that ball to Van den Berg. And they've just got to be aware of that. Maddie, you did speak to it. It's about the South Africans keeping the discipline. That is what's going to matter for them today, and that's one way they should be looking at this game.
Well, they've got a huge contest tomorrow against the Jamaicans, so they won't want to fall into any traps that, you know, today avenues to post or, you know, defensively might be a little bit easier, but they've got to stay disciplined in those strategies so that they prepare themselves for a really great contest tomorrow as well. You're spot on, Amanda.
Again, another silly error from the Proteas, from Taljaard. She's got to tidy up her game. Just try and be a little bit more clinical.
Well, there's an early Christmas present from Sri Lanka and a good pickup from Van der Berg. And that brings up the tally 35-15, halfway into the second quarter. The game seems to have slowed down a little bit for the side of South Africa.
Ball attack.
Mumpo, I think that change in tempo for the South Africans isn't a bad thing, because you might have to play with different tempos. You can play on the 1 second, play on the 3 second, and it just keeps your opposition guessing. So it's good that they're maybe recognising that there's been a few errors and making some of those slight adjustments in the pace that they play at.
Oh, some great analysis there as we see Taljaard take on that baseline again, quite strong. The baseline queen she's become, with a lot of flavor and salsa in her netball. Oh, Giselle getting that call on her side in her favor. It was a really good read with her going two hands in it.
Lovely defensive work there from Giselle, taking it from the backside. And you can see her teammates, she's really enjoying it from the Proteas. It's good to see Giselle making her mark on that center position. She's a great player, experienced player, has been part of the national setup for a very long time.
Contact, goal defense.
There you can see Sri Lanka shooters just trying to set up the screen.
Out of play, wing defense.
Proteas
Not out of play.
just stopping them. Just no direct movement coming from Alves on that goal attack position. Just floating around in that circle. Movement's got to be more dynamic. And I think you'll agree with me on that, Maddie. You've been a former attacker player yourself. You know the demands of the attack on international level, and Sri Lanka at the moment just shying away from that responsibility, especially in that goal shooting circle.
Yeah, it'd be great to see maybe the goal shooter, Algama, come out a little bit just to give a little bit more of a change-up. That's what we're seeing down the South African end. That dynamic moving circle is just getting the defenders' heads turning, and they've got no chance of reading the play. So maybe a slight little adjustment in the goal circle for Sri Lanka might help them get to post a little bit quicker. Ladies, it is so loud down here. I'm surprised these players can even hear the umpire's whistle blow.
Maddie, I'm surprised to see you sitting down. I don't understand why you're not dancing with the rest of the crowd.
I'm just warming up, guys.
Well, while you ladies warm up, then we're reaching the tail end of this second quarter. A very difficult pool is this Pool C, the toughest of the first stages. She's finding her range again, Vandenberg. She brings up the tally to 42 for South Africa, restricting Sri Lanka to 16.
Vantage contact, wing defense.
Not when there's a stray dom in the area. She's very good in the air for the former goal defense, now wing defense. And it's been interesting how quickly she's adapted to that wing defense position.
Yeah, straight on, such a hard worker, and I think she deserves this. Another pickup from her, just not managing to keep her feet, but she's a player that's worked hard for this moment. She trains really hard, she's very fit, she's well conditioned. She's had a lot of disappointments in the last couple of years when it came to that national squad and the selection. And I mean, just at the right time for her now is stepping into this World Cup. And I think just the netball world is an oyster at the moment.
Yeah, I think she said she waited close to 9 years to get this opportunity, but she never gave up hope. She kept working on her craft, and she's been one player the whole nation has been happy to see get given the opportunity at this Netball World Cup. Quite a fan favorite as the captain. Captain fantastic, picking up a loose ball in the area. Oh, and Vandenberg to the rescue. Oh, Shadeen didn't have an eye on Alves, who's having a beautiful game for the side of Sri Lanka. She's their main playmaker at the moment. Herself and the combination of Kaya Jani.
Contact wing defense, 35.
Oh, Talia is so quick with that twinkle toe double play that she usually does, and in her comfortable zone, that mid-range, she makes it count. How amazing it is for some of the South African domestic players are Shadeen van der Merwe to the rescue. She's also wanting her moment in the light. 10 seconds to go. Can South Africa quickly convert? Well, that'll be a great bailout there from the umpire, Terence Beard, as they make sure they finish that intercept from Shadeen van der Merwe. And it brings the crowd to their feet as they see their team really doing a spectacular performance today. An absolutely electrifying grandstands whenever South Africa is playing, as they finish things off in the first half, 45-18. Oh, that's a very happy-looking South African bench. It's really taken the side of Africa a long time. They are finally here. Vanessa, I understand you might have somebody special on the floor with you there. Let us know what's happening on your side.
Yes, Mambo, I'm joined by the centre of Sri Lanka, Gayanjadi. There's a lot of unforced errors from your side. What do you need to do in the second half to make sure that you minimise those?
Yeah, actually we are recognizing those unforced errors, and surely we want to fix it soon. So we are going to make it. Yeah.
You're having a wonderful game. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
And now joined by our centre, Izet Griesel. So many wonderful plays by yourself, and there's a lot of movement and dynamicness in that mid-court. What do you think you need to do to make sure that you get to that 100 that I know you want to get to?
First of all, thank you. But at this point, we're just focusing on minimizing on the errors. So we just need to let the ball go. There is a lot of movement. I think we just need to focus on short and sharp at this point. And yeah, just focus on the goal for now.
Baie geluk en sterkte.
Dankie.
But she also said we need to minimize the errors.
Oh yeah, that we know.
She must get onto circle edge and
As they take on Sri Lanka. Oh, that's a good start to South Africa's campaign in the third quarter. I mean, Maddie, 100 caps. Can you just imagine what's going on in her heart right now?
I mean, I'm sure it's bursting. I mean, she's not only been an incredible player, but she's gone away, had a baby and come back, and to be having this moment, I think, on home soil would be very heartwarming for her. She's been an incredible player for the country for so long, so it's amazing to kind of see her out there and see how dominant she's been for so long.
Great servant to the country, Pretorius. She made her debut as Mustard back in the day, and she's really served her country. She's been exceptional. She got that reward as most valuable player at the 2019 World Cup, and a player that will make her mark for South Africa, not only as a player but as a person and as vice captain of the Proteas.
Norma, thank you for joining us in the coverage. There's a lot of youngsters out there. You must be impressed with how they've started this game and how they continue to push this scoreline out.
Yeah, it's not too bad, but, you know, as a coach, you want more, always, and but it's nice for them to get a touch of it, and we can try and work out a few more things because we got Jamaica tomorrow.
Yeah, it's nice you haven't changed, Norma, because you're always wanting more, always asking for that little bit extra. The players have spoken about sticking to the process. What do they mean when you're saying that to them?
Well, I mean, it's a learning factor of being able to carry out the direction you're given. Like, so if we want to sag back, we want to sag back. If we want short and sharp, well, I need them to be able to deliver that and know what that means. You know, so, and the more options you have, the better off you are as, you know, as a team. So
that discipline to stay in structure will put you in good stead for tomorrow. So what are you hoping in this second half to see?
Yeah, I sort of hope that we might do a little bit more on around the outside of the circle and from the defence end. And Carla's back on now, so she can direct it. And we do have our senior bit there that, you know, you want to see leadership from.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you.
Again, Strydom just hanging on the top of the circle, waiting for an opportunity.
Well, the long-range shots aren't working anymore for Van der Berg. They'll have to start considering something new as Sri Lanka struggles to get the ball into the shooting circle.
Contact, when you tag.
Sri Lanka just showing patience, ball in hand, but it also gives the opportunity to the Proteas to set themselves up defensively, get themselves in a good position. That's why we've seen a lot of intercepts from the Proteas. Clever play there from Pretorius. It's trying to manage both those shooters in the circle.
Well, we've certainly seen her save a game, having to defend two shooters of England in the quad series. Oh, and that brings the crowd to life. Really, the South African support has been outstanding in the two games that South Africa's played thus far. The defensive pressure of Taliad, just a world class indeed.
Contact center.
And there she goes. I'm starting to get tired now of saying Strydom, Strydom, Strydom. It's been Strydom defensively for the Proteas the whole afternoon. Just look at that again. Brilliant from her. Again, Sri Lanka just allowing her to set herself up defensively.
Amanda, I think it's a great game for Strydom to build that confidence and to know what elements of her game she can continue to explore. Obviously, she'll have a tougher task tomorrow against the Jamaican, but it's great to see her shining. I mean, she's got 7 intercepts alone to her name or gained ball, so she's absolutely paving the way down that defence end.
Definitely a great confidence builder for Stradum.
Instruction, goalkeeper.
We know Jamaica tomorrow, different story. They will play at a much faster pace. But a good opportunity for her to have a go at wings.
Instruction, goalkeeper.
As Taliad converts on that 54th goal with 9 minutes left in the third quarter.
Contact centre, the third.
A lot of experimenting from the side of South Africa, tingling a lot with their lineup today. But it's a special moment for that lady who gets that rebound. Pretorius.
Contact on defence.
Slightly high there from Smith.
Vantage obstruction.
To Chouane in the middle. Good drive from Talyard to the top of the circle. Getting the opportunity again.
Advantage not behind, wing attack.
And there she is. The target at the back. Van der Berg. And a lot of communication happening from the Proteas on that transverse line. Pushing Sri Lanka up high, creating the opportunity for Smith at the back. Hoping to see a little bit more from Smith.
Pretorius is shutting the back down, completely not allowing Always to get her way. She got a little bit away with a lot of double plays in the first half. Oh, that's what you want to see from Smith. Wide awake, but loses it again. Oh, Samini. She's such a playmaker, Samini. Always.
Little bit of a hot potato going on in that circle. No one getting a hand on that ball. But again, Proteas just hungry for the ball. Oh, unfortunate miss there by Pretorius. She did see it. Sri Lanka just too quick for her on that occasion. But look at Smith coming through at the right time on that baseline. Chouane just not looking into the circle long enough to find Talyard on that base.
I think it's been great to see some of these changes into the South African team. Seamlessly, they continue to tick that scoreboard over. It's a part of their game, that depth, as Pretorius comes through with a great little tip to add in that you can add anyone off the bench whenever you need to give that impact. It's possibly what's been missing a little bit in their games previously, but they've now got the depth on the bench, which is awesome.
Definitely agree with you on that, Maddie. The moment we can start making changes and we can get a different style of play from those changes, just add so much more to your team and your depth.
And I know Chouane can play fast, but I think she's just bringing that little bit of a leveled head, a little bit more calmness, and they're being a little bit more frugal in possession, playing more possession with the ball in hand.
Instruction sent up at the pass.
Well, just over 5 minutes in this third quarter. 59 goals. Can South Africa get one more to make it 60? Yep, they do. And Van der Berg brings up the tally. She's sitting at 91% at the moment. She's only missed 4 attempts at goal.
And Maddie, I think you'll agree with me. South Africa's just really being good on that straight line play today, finding the middle quite easily. Sri Lanka just allowing them to do that.
And I think that comes from, you know, that preparation, going middle to create wide, or going wide to create middle, up to create depth down the court, and vice versa. So they're just getting a variety of the leads and options rather than just being so one-dimensional, which is why it's been able to look so free and open in that attack end.
40 goals. What can Sri Lanka do with this attacking play? They're knocking at the door, but they keep getting shut out, and that's a block party starting to happen there, as a Smith is called for an obstruction, unfortunately. That's a good finish from Al-Gama. She hasn't been getting a lot of those opportunities. She hasn't been doing too bad herself. At 83%, she's only missed 3 attempts at goal.
Definitely a momentum shift for the Proteas at the right time. But I have to say, when my fans are dancing, singing like that, I will also make a momentum shift.
Well, you're going to say you'd get up and do a movement or some dancing. I'll get up and dance.
Knowing her, she would. You should actually see her, Maddie. Oh, that's the kind of intercept. Oh, she read that one well, did she? Pretorius, the lady of the day, 100th cap, coming in the second half. Coach Norma Plummer making sure that she does give her that bragging right, so to speak. But she's earned it, certainly, has Pretorius, coming out from having a baby to a phenomenal season of netball, right back into the Netball World Cup, so she made it in time.
Great attempt there from Sri Lanka on that rebound. Thought that they might get lucky, but a quick little play there from Talyard, using the post, as always. You can see some smiles there from the bench. Coaches seem to be a little relaxed at the moment.
Advantage, contact, center, advantage, obstruction, wing defense. Contact, goalkeeper.
There she is, Smith, trying to have a go for that ball. Pretorius realizing they might not want to take that far attempt, shutting down the options in that circle. But Sri Lanka do convert that goal. It brings them to that 5-goal margin for this quarter. Proteas have really put them under pressure in the second half of the match.
Advantage offside when defense. Obstruction goalkeeper.
Absolutely, Amanda. I think a stat that they'd be impressed with defensively from South Africa is they only had 13 games yesterday. They're sitting at 24 already, and there's still 1 quarter to go, so getting plenty of ball. And on the other side, they're converting a lot of that, so sitting nice and high in the 80s for their centre pass conversion and 80 for their gain conversion. So way better performance-wise by the Spark Proteas today than yesterday.
Contact, goalkeeper.
Well, since we're speaking about caps, we must also give some credit to Amarawansa. She's having a 50th cap today, and Alwas on her 70th. So Sri Lanka also having a lot of experience under their belt. Oh, that's a smart play from Talyard. She gave them a little look away. She looked to the other side, saw the middle open. Oh, but she plays with so much flavor, does Talyard. The new age language, we'd call it netball swag, she has. Oh, that's good pressure. They boxed them out. Sri Lanka getting a little bit impatient now with each other.
Lovely to hear the noise of the crowd. Well, we call it noise, but they call it singing. And that is the singing that you would want to hear from the South Africans, because
in the third quarter. South Africa looking like a side with a plan and a mission, and they've been executing as they are very quite consistent. 24, 21, 23. Containing the side of Sri Lanka to 6 goals as they finish things off 68-24. Well, I'd love to hear what Coach Norma Plummer has to say about the performance of the side. For the last quarter. Take on Sri Lanka in the fourth and final quarter. They've been very dominant in this matchup, quite consistent as we see Shadeen van der Merwe take on court again, this time on the wing defense position. She started on goal defense previously as she made way there for the 100th cap Pretorius, and Gissel making her way to that wing defense position, a wing attack, beg your pardon, and that then brings Chawani to center. As we get underway then, 14 minutes, last quarter, and it looks like we'll have the whole team taken on quarter as Anna-Marie Fenter also makes it to the shooting circle.
Again, Sri Lanka just being patient with the ball in hand, waiting for the options to open up. Proteas just not giving them the space or the momentum, keeping them up high. We did see a change there for the Proteas. Maweni at the back. Same defensive four they started with last night in that opening match against Wales.
So a lot of changes for South Africa. Looks like captain will take the day off, rest for tomorrow's contest.
Time. Just wait.
She's done a phenomenal job of captaining this side. She's really kept a lot under her belt. She's got 160 caps today, does Bongi Msomi. That is quite a milestone for the South African skipper. Oh, the block party continues with Pretorius adding on to the tally. We know a lot about this South African combination. They forced the turnover.
Goal defense, yes.
There it is. 70 goal margin for the Proteas. Van der Berg lucky to get away with that. Some fans enjoying themselves in their Springbok jerseys. Probably off to the rugby after this. Springboks take on Argentina. What a day for South African sport.
Proteas have put on some big numbers in each of the quarters. They'll be close to hitting that 100 mark, but as I said, it's not so much about what they make, it's about the process that gets them to this score. So staying disciplined, staying true, sticking to what they need to do. Like Coach Palmer said, if she wants them to sag, they need to sag, so they just need to do what she's asked them to do.
Coach Norma Plummer with very high standards. As South Africa picks up yet another turnover. Oh, great look there from Tawani. He's getting a little bit of a warm-up run on her legs for the day in preparation of the Battle of the Giants tomorrow, the African Giants. Because for some reason, people seem to think Jamaica is still on the African continent somehow. They've had a lot of support from the South African supporters. Oh, that's a good finish from Fenter. She got the player of the match yesterday. Was absolutely outstanding with her conversion rate.
There we can see it, the box defense from the Proteas, setting it up. A lot of communication from Pretorius. You can see her there just talking to the players, confusing the space, arms in the air.
Oh, good diversion from Algama. She put both Maweni and Pretorius to sleep on that play. It's a quick
contact center, penalty pass.
The confidence of Van der Berg when it gets to mid-ranges and just those long-range shots, she just doesn't worry her at all.
Contact, goal defense. What's the goal defense?
players going a little bit late to some of those contests. It has been played at quite a fast pace, so maybe a little bit of some of them are tiring, but it's great to see the Sri Lankans continue to improve. That's all that they need to ask of themselves every game, have some learnings, because what we forget to recognise sometimes is they don't get a lot of international experience, so this is a huge stage for them to, one, participate in, but to get to play against the host nation in front of this crowd. What a privilege, what an honour, and what an experience that they'll talk about and share with each other.
Contact centre. Contact goalkeeper. Come up and see goalkeeper.
Algama certainly shooting at a much better rate than yesterday. She's shooting at 77%. She sits at 87 at the moment. A confidence booster for the side of Sri Lanka. That's 1 point, Maddie, they'll be happy with, is that they really have improved on their conversion rate. Oh, she's playing with such poise, Feinter. Beautiful transitional play there. They played those balls very quickly down the right-hand side of the court.
Advantage obstruction wing.
Yeah, she's very confident in the long ranges as Feinter. Definitely making Letsatsi happy about it. I wonder who's under Letsatsi. Do you think it's a girl or a guy?
Is Letsatsi even a person? Yes.
It's a little mascot.
The chants, ladies, just continue to happen. If it's not one thing, it's another. I'm blown away by the energy that this crowd has brought the entire time, regardless of the result out there. They're singing, they're dancing, they're having a great time. No better place in the Holder World Cup than in Cape Town, because they're bringing all the vibes.
Yes, inside.
Certainly bringing out the vibes there. I'm just loving seeing your reaction to just the culture shock you're probably having at the moment. You're very lucky there's no vuvuzela, I can tell you that for sure. We wouldn't be able to hear you at all, as this game is within reach now with just over 6 minutes to go. I'm not sure if South Africa can still make that 100. But they'll be aware of who they face tomorrow and how they set the message in their first game against Sri Lanka.
Obstruction goalkeeper.
Contact shooter. Penalty pass.
A much better ball movement from Sri Lanka. They're finding the spaces. And that's another beautiful thing about Van der Berg. Her ability to defend and her height can be very beneficial in that mid-court for South Africa, as we see a little bit of a football there.
Contact, wing defense.
One thing that Sri Lanka really seems to struggle with is the physical contest. You can see a lot of times just shying away from that physicality, the way they move, just not sure whether or not they can pick up a body. And one area that they will definitely look at improving if they want to compete at this level.
Yeah, I agree with you, Amanda. I think sometimes Algama's too much on the move. Finding a body, being able to hold that space, I think comes with experience against playing against those international defenders a little bit more. And knowing that contest, Van der keep it in the Proteas' hands. So that time spent working on different parts of your game, different tools, different crafts, the hold, the move. I'd love to see her standing there a little bit longer sometimes and showcasing where that space is.
Long range into the shooting circles, never going to suffice against the likes of Maweni. Look at that. Beautiful little backhand flip. No one in sight to pick that one up. Not the best of angles as well. So Kayani, beg your pardon, of Sri Lanka, the goal defense, who makes her debut for Sri Lanka in this Netball World Cup. She certainly had her hands full in this matchup against both Taliad and Van der Berg.
Advantage obstruction.
Oh, that's a good pull by Van der Berg, and the vision from the two mid-court players, Khisal and Shawani, to recognize the open player.
And I bet you that fan just looking at Venter, such an inspiration. She's been good for the South African team. She's very strong in that goal shooter position.
And the defensive pressure continues from the Spar Proteas. That's a beautiful finish from Venter.
Yeah, what a finish from Venter. She's been great. We haven't seen Potgieter on court, and yet they've got another option in her. Look at her rebound, her athletic ability, her timing, and for me it's her upper body strength, the way she can really give them that one-on-one option in that circle. We see South Africa building on this momentum that they've got at the moment. Maybe get a few more goals. What are your thoughts, Maddie?
I think it's exactly what they need ahead of a really close contest, I think, tomorrow against Jamaica. Building that confidence, knowing that they can play with speed, play with a bit more tempo. They've got some great time into those youngsters. But also a credit to Sri Lanka. They've scored more than they did yesterday. They've worked on some of those areas of play that they were disappointed in. So great to see they continually improve through this tournament as well. But the Spark Proteas are looking good. And aren't the crowd loving every minute of it?
They'll certainly have their hands full tomorrow, the Spark Proteas, as they take on Jamaica. But it's going to be a tough road for the Jamaicans too, with Pretoria's looking as sharp as she is. She's hunting for those balls. But certainly this attacking South African circle will be put to the test and as they take on Sterling, one of the best defenders in the world, winning herself a championship. Oh, look at that breathtaking take. Two hands in it. And it's a countdown from the fans as they count their team down to the finish. What a way to finish a game, as a Venter puts the grandstands to life with a beautiful layup. Oh, she has made the fans delighted. What a way to finish, as Venter puts the cherry on top. in what has been a one-way traffic for the South Africans as they dominate Sri Lanka with a strong finish, 87-32.
Oh, yeah.
She says she's going to stop.
She can't demoralize.